Hello and welcome to Lioness TV. It is our big pleasure to talk today with Julia Hacker, an amazing inspirational artist, a mother, a wife, and simply a beautiful woman who we have chosen to talk today and to ask her questions about how she has come to painting, how she has arrived to the desire and necessity to share her emotions with the world by way of the fine art. Hello, Julia.
Hello, Jenny.
There will be some questions that I would love to ask you, and hopefully the answers will help us better understand your art and what you are bringing to the world with your paintings. How did you start? How did you start painting, and what brought you to the idea of expressing yourself through the art?
Well, I started painting when I was around 16 years old, and at that time I went to study and eventually receive a diploma in fashion design. And but really working in fine arts, probably I would say it started when I came to Canada. I switched the understanding of art in my life, and it's really helped me to survive, to thrive, and to become who I am today.
So for how many years have you been drawing?
I would say I'm painting on and off for about last 15 years, but really concentrating and going as a full-time artist I started about three and a half years ago. That's when I realized that it's about time to dedicate all my energy, emotions into passions that I cannot live without.
Do you have any formal training?
Yes, I do. Like as I mentioned before, I have masters in fashion design, and in Russian program, it means we are studying for 4 years anatomy, color theory. We're working on portraits, on still life. It's a really serious system of education.
And what have been, in the course of the 3.5 years, the biggest challenges that you have encountered in the process of painting?
Well, probably the biggest challenge is to find your own voice. It's besides the moment when one have to realize that when you have life and a family and kids and husband, I would say one of the first challenges is to balance your time. It's when I work in my studio from morning till about 3 o'clock until my kids come from school. I'm an artist and I'm living in a different world, and 3:30 I'm turning into mother, into cook, and a chauffeur, and driver, and everything else. And besides this point, of course, one can face this challenge, but one can face how today, in a modern world, when there is so many artists and very talented artists, you can find yourself and find your own niche and appeal to certain people that will understand and share your ideas and your thoughts behind the art.
In your artistic expressions, what are the forms of art that you are attending mostly to?
Well, you know, it took me a few years to understand where I'm standing on this, because when I was looking for gallery representations or any material, how to come out, to help me to come out of my studio and to be brave enough and to embrace the world and express myself out there, I found that one of the advices that usually gallerists would say to artists is to be consistent and to work in one style. And there is even an expression, they call it artistic schizophrenia, when artists express themselves in so many styles and it's difficult for gallerists to market your work. But after a few years of working in a different direction, I realized that I tend to work in three kind of directions in my own art and express myself in three directions. And one would be an abstract art, which professionally it's called like action painting, where I can express myself on a pure emotional level. Another style is my florals. They're more a meditative state of mind. There I'm floating with the beauty of flowers or shapes or textures. And there is a third direction that I work with. It's I call it collage paintings. It's not really direct understanding of collage as we all usually perceive it, because I combine collage with painterly media, with paint. That's actually very challenging psychologically as well, because when you work with collage, it's almost like putting puzzles together. You think not only about colors, but you think about subject and theme and genre, and it's very mind-engaging media.
So out of these three directions that you are using in expressing your own emotions, which one is the dearest and the closest to your heart?
Well, probably I would say collage paintings, and maybe it's even my background as a fashion designer, these attractions, these tremendous attractions that always stays with me to different textures, to playfulness of fabrics and lights. And maybe the word playfulness is really characterize my work, because I found that we women, especially women, love to express ourselves through accessories, through different colors, through our clothes. It's our representation. It's how our world sees us, and that's what image we are portraying. I love to use a found media and object in my work, and I can apply like a CD or foil or even glass in my work, or beads.
In fact, being a lover of a traditional art, I find your collages fascinating. I think that they are exceptionally deep, and they are taking the viewer of your piece of art practically into an excursion, into a trip to something which is dear and captivating for you. And I think that this form of art is really it's rather new, but it's something which is definitely having a huge future. And I think that this form that you have chosen, one of the forms that you have chosen, is definitely reflecting who you are and the variety of your world and the complexity of your world as well.
Thank you. You're absolutely right. It's you know, for years I was afraid of the word feminine, and I think that it's a social stigma that expected from women to be equal and succeed. And I totally agree that we want to feel as a partners. But for last decade, I would say the world feminine was looked upon to, and it was a kind of a sign of a weakness. And I found that it takes tremendous courage from me to come out and to say to the world, but I am feminine and I love all feminine things. And I think that I would like to encourage all women to be themselves, and that's the most important idea that I'm trying to to tell through my artwork.
So there were definitely revelations along the way, and there were definitely ways of soul searching and finding yourself
Yes.
within the art that you feel is important for you. Now, what would you tell yourself 10 years ago? What have you learned that you would love to know 10 years ago?
Probably, you know, I read somewhere a wonderful phrase that I think should be my logo now, but it should be definitely 10 years ago, and it's replace fear with curiosity. I think it's a wonderful saying. It has probably even deeper roots than just with arts. When one makes a decision to come to another country and face unknown culture and learn a new language and find your own place in this country and find your own voice, it takes a lot of courage. But without curiosity, it's impossible.
What makes your life beautiful? What is the beauty that enhances your everyday being?
You know, I'm not living in some cocoon because one can look at my paintings and say, so I hope happy and cheerful and uplifting. I perfectly aware of things that going on in the world, and in terms of economy, in terms of disasters, natural disasters. But and even on the everyday level of life, like I do receive phone calls from school where I would, like principal would say that something happened to my son and he's hurt or something else. So I do live an ordinary life, but I found that I totally agree with this expression of Dostoevsky, the beauty will save the world. I think that's what keeps me going and creating that type of work that I create. And that's what reminds me when I look into the eyes of my kids, when I see my husband after work or first thing in the morning, and when I speak to my parents and hear their voices, and when I rarely, unfortunately, meet my friends and chat with them. It all reminds me that the world is beautiful, and if everybody will understand this, probably we have a better chance to save it.
I think that when we are creating a piece of art or a piece of music or a piece of life which we are hopeful is meaningful, we do not think about the impact that it would take upon other people. We just do it because we cannot do otherwise. And then it might become something which is becoming eternal, important, and of a huge essence to others, and that's what makes the efforts worth.
I always think about that, would I be able to live without art? Would I be able to not create? And my answer is no, and that's why I just said to myself, there is no other way in my life. It's a part of me. It's an essential part of me. It's how can you take away my hand or my mind or my heart? That's why I'm there.
It's a part of your life.
It's a part of my life.
So if you could be any artist in the history, which artist would you choose to be?
You know, it's a tricky question, because some artists so famous for not only for their creation but for their notorious life, and I'm not sure I want to be somebody else, but I would love to experience things like, for example, when Marc Chagall left his small town Vitebsk, and he moved to Paris, and all his life I wonder what's left in the core of an artist that coming from a very humble, modest place, and then eventually ends up living a famous life. What's inside? What keeps him creating, keeps him going to create real work, the work that reflect and can talk to anybody, and what makes him so authentic. That's probably his life would be very interesting for me.
What is the biggest wish of yours? What would you love to have most of all?
Well, probably very non-glamorous answer, like health. And because I work a lot of hours, and I just sometimes I'm scared of the thought that what would I be able to live when I'm not there. I want to be able to create enough beautiful artwork and enough beautiful memory for people to enjoy it and to cherish it. And I have, of course, another wish for my kids for them to be good human beings, like decent human beings, believing in the beauty of the world. That's probably my not so ambitious ambitions.
It's a wish of a mother, it's a wish of a woman, and it's a wish of an artist.
That's right.
Thank you. My wish is that you continue to flourish, and many happy exhibitions, many people to you who admire what you do, who are willing to keep your paintings at home, who are willing to bring you with them to their homes.
Yes, it's an honor.
And a lot of success, and a lot of new ideas, and new bright colors, and may all your wishes come true.
Thank you, Jenny. Thank you. It was lovely to talk to you.